Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. This is the world of Wayne and happy Monday, brand new week today. We're going to start the week with a Fanhome release of the next 4 stages of Build the Fast and Furious Dodge Charger. I look like I've been sponsored by the Fast and Furious here with all this merchandise on. Today, we're going to be finishing the other door. As you can see, we've done one of the doors here. And I'm also going to be doing a few more little details that are going into the bodywork. It won't be too long now before we actually clamp these two pieces together. Now, the bodywork and the actual main car are not together at the moment. It's quite easy just to take that section off. So that's coming in future stages, I guess. Now, at the end of this video, stay tuned because I do have some news just around the competition that we've been running. And also I am going to be live streaming tonight and there's some details regarding that as well. But if you want to get this for yourself, I have put the link down in the video description. But without further ado, let's get cracking. So by the end of this video, this will take us up to stage 94. There's 110 stages on this build. So all I'm going to do first off is we don't actually need the car. So I'm just going to take the top off the car just like that. And I know you haven't seen it for some time. So I thought I'd just bring the car down. You can see what that looks like. We're not going to need that today. So I'm going to put that on the floor. But as you can see here in stage 91, we have got some inner door trim here. We are going to continue working on the door that we did last time, putting this together with the extra trim that we've got there. So by the end of this stage, the door is looking like that. So I've just dug out my box of tricks to pull out exactly what we have been working on last time. Put that to one side. And this is what we've got in stage 91 here. So the first parts we want are just for the door handle here. It's 2 parts. Get them out of my tweezers, and all we're going to be doing is we're going to be affixing the door handle to the base. Quite simply, has got a little lug in there, and it's just going to be a push together to make one handle like that. Bring up the bit of trim and you can see the 2 holes this is going to go in, so I'm just going to push that into place in here. It's going to be quite a tight fit, but it will actually hold itself in just like that. Bring over the door that we had last time, and quite simply we're just going to be putting this on top of the door like that there. They do provide us with some AP screws. Get these out. Turn this around because I'm going to hold this in from the other side. It's actually going to be held in by 6 AP screws. So I'll start these off and we'll come back to that. This is the last screw going in of the 6 I had to put in. So there we go. That door card is in like that. Now we have a little bit of trim, which looks like that. That's just going to go in the slots that we can just see on the edge here. Now for the moment, it just rests in there like that. Put that down. We've got 2 more parts in this stage, which are a couple of brackets. One here and one here. And that's actually just going to hold that door trim in place. So you can see the little indents of where we're actually putting this. But we're going to be having one going in here like that. And that's going to hold one side down. It's held in with OP screws, so get them open. They do come in this pack. And now what this has got, if I just get this one in, is just some little tabs just at the top of this black section here, which is actually holding this in. I do have one more just to put on that side. And as you can see on the close-up there, there's that little tab that's going to hold that in. So lie that in like that. It's quite an ingenious way of doing it, actually. And then screw this into place. Perfect. So that door trim is in. That's all there is to do in that stage. So in stage 92, again, I'll just give you a quick flick through the magazine here. We've got some more trim panels and a window to put in. So these are just going to go onto what we've just been working on here. So by the end of it, that is how the door is looking. So stage 92 looks just like this. And this time we need the metal door looking like this. And the trim panel is just going to go onto these metal lugs just here. So this is going to go in just like that. It is going to be held in with some metal screws. They are CM screws. Should really be using my part work upgrades mat for this. I don't want to scratch that door. So Perfect. And I've put it in a bit of oil just to help get this into the metal. Again, if you've watched this channel long enough, you know I do this. But if you're new to the channel, I do this because sometimes there's paint inside these metal threads. And it can be a pain to screw these in. You'll end up rounding screwdrivers, rounding screws. So by putting it into oil, it helps to cut through that paint and any imperfections in the tapping there. And makes the screw go in a lot easier without wrecking all your tools. So that's why I use it. And the oil I use is just a 3-in-1 oil. My one, the oil of question, was pinched from Mrs. Welderwain's sewing set. Or sewing machine. Okay, so they're all in. Put that to one side again. And bring over the inner part of the door here, because we've got some trim now to put on the other side of this window, which is going to go in just like this here. Make sure it's clamped in perfectly. And that's going to be held in with TP screws. So we've got 2 just down the bottom here. These are silver screws, quite tiny. But that will hold that into place. When you're drilling into plastic or screwing into plastic, when you're screwing into plastic and it's tiny screws like this, rule of thumb is don't tighten it too much, otherwise you could end up rounding that screw head there. So I've got the 2 in at the bottom. If I turn it over, you'll see I've got holes for 2 in the top here as well. So just get that lined up and get these TP screws in the top as well. That one's 1 and that one's 2. Now I may as well keep the glass here because we're going to need that. I need an SP screw, which I'm just digging out here, because I need to put this way round, a screw through this side like that, and I need to offer this little catch on the other side here, which I'm just lining up. Very hard to do, that's why I always put the screw in first, let the magnet hold the weight, and then slowly screw this together. Just like this. You can see that screw's going in there. Doesn't have to be too tight, but I do want it so that kind of looks like that there. Bring over the window here, and quite simply this is just going to go into the vacant area we've got there. The bit we put in is just going to go into a hole at the top. There you go, that's in. And the bottom one's just going to rest in this cavity just here. So we will be able to open this window up once we've got this plate in place. Now we do want to put that plate in to keep that in. That's just a little tab looking like this. And that's just going to go over the top of this section here. And it's held in with a DP screw. So I've got that there. Slowly get that in. There you go. That window's held in tight now. So now, as you can see, I can open this window all the way and close it as well. And that is all there is to do in that stage. So stage 93 is going to see us finishing the door. As you can see here, we've got a window to put in and a window mechanism. So we'll be able to roll the window down, as you can see. So by the end of it, we do have the finished door there. So here is everything from stage 93. And the first thing I want to do is take out one of these really tiny GP screws. For that reason, I'm getting my really tiny screwdriver. We need the crank for the winding mechanism, but on the end of the crank, I'm going to be putting a knob. Now the knob is tiny in itself in this pack here. Get that out. And pretty much how I did that last screw, I'm going to load this screwdriver up, put this through the crank, then hold it in my hands and then offer the knob to this, and then that will ensure that I put the screw in perfectly straight, just like that. Now that's going to go into the hole that we've got in the door here, so I can put that in like that there. Turn it over, and then I've got, I can get it out, this little gear to go in here. Now this is a D-shaped pattern in this, so it can only go in one way, and it wants to go in with the teeth facing upwards like that. We're then putting the window crank into place. That's going to go onto this bigger area here, just like that there. And then we've got an even bigger gear, which is going to be going face down on top of these two sections here. So when I turn the window, as you can see, these move just like that. I do need to keep these in place, so I'm going to do that with a BP screw. So as you can see, that's now in place and it's still able to turn. Excellent. Now we've got this inner protection here, which is going to go over the top, which is going to hold all of those gears into place. And I'm going to do that with an AP screw. And that's pretty much AP screws all the way around. But where the winding mechanism is, which is that silver area just there, I'm going to be putting a VM screw in there just to keep that into place. So that's the AP screws in. I've got a VM screw here, just going over in this metal winder mechanism. And there we go. So once again, I'm just going to check the operation of this. So as you can see, that's going to make the window go up and down, no problems at all. So before I put the window in, we do have these felt strips here, or these strips, they're not felt. They're just a clear plastic material. What this is going to do is stop the window scratching against the edges of the plastic. Because it's all very well having winding windows, but if you have a scratched window the first time that you put it up and down, you're going to have a problem. So there's one in that side there. Bring over the metal section. I'm not going to put the plate down. I'm just going to be very gentle. Get another one off. And this one will be going along this edge here. And that will just ensure that this window is not going to scratch when it goes up and down. So, that to one side. Get the window, which I've got here. Make sure you put the window in the right way. It's going to go in here like that. That looks good. I'm going to hold that into place with a BP screw. That's just one of these flange screws here. And then the fun bit, we just get to piece everything together here to make one complete door. Just want to make sure that that's all clipped in fine, it's sitting fine, it looks fine. And once again, I'm just going to check that window is going up and down. I need it to be in the channel there, like that. So that when this goes up and down, see how that works? Perfect. Right, let me just bring up my mat because we're going to be screwing this in now. It's pretty much screwed in with all AM screws around everything you see here, except for this corner of the window here. That's going to be put in with a TP screw. So it is actually held in with 6 of these AM screws. So I get all of these in. That's the last one there. Let me just get out the TP screw. Tiny screw again, so I'm using my tiny screwdriver just to get this one in here. Don't over tighten it. Should be no gaps in the side. Check the operation of that window again. That's perfect. And that is all there is to do in that stage. You do want to keep these SM screws safe for the next stage. So in the last stage of this pack, this is stage 94. As you can see, we are going to be mounting the door. So the door we've just created, we're going to be putting that on the side of the vehicle. And then we've just got a couple of little tabs just to put into the engine bay area. So that is how it's looking. There is some bits left over which we're going to need to keep safe for another time. This is everything we've got in here. Let me just show you this. It does look like we've got some indicator lenses and frames in there. Let's bring up the bodywork. Now when I put this kind of like on its side, remember we do have a wing mirror in this side. So if we are going to put it this way, make sure that that's not going down, otherwise you're going to crush the wing mirror here. But quite simply, the door, you can see this, hinges out, is just going to go in there like that. And it's held in with the SM screws just in those holes there. Now we want this to go in really tight, so I am using my heavy duty screwdriver on this. And that will ensure I can get these screws in as tight as I possibly can. That's one. Bit of oil there. And I don't know if you can see this, but here's the second one. Perfect. As you can see, that door's in place. Opens and closes, no problems at all. Now the last thing to do is just to put these mounts in they look like this. These are metal, and they're just going to go in this way so that the front overhangs the front of the engine. They're held in with AM screws. I do have one here already. And we do need 2 of these just to keep that into place. So that's 1. And 2. And I'm just going to do exactly the same on the other side here. So there you go, that's those 2 in place. I think what I'll do is bring up the car, which is just here, and then I'll offer the top to the car again. This is how I store it basically. I just want to make sure that I'm not pinching these headlight wires here. So I'll tuck them in and just put this over the top. Just like that. There you go. That is the finished pack. Now, if you want an idea of size of that, that is what it's looking like at the moment. It does need a bit of a polish up. All the other details that we've got, like the supercharger at the top, that's stored away, so that'll probably be going on at the end. Now, once again, if you want to get this for yourself, I have put the link down here to the Fanhome website. You can get that all the way from pack 1. Just to let you know, today, if you're in the UK, is the final day you can enter the competition for the Valentino Rossi bike. The instructions and the link to that are in the video description. And also tonight, I'm going to be building my SR71, but I'm not doing it on this channel. I'm going to be doing it on a YouTuber called Moss6510 at 8 o'clock tonight, with a load of other builders building their own models as well. So if you want to check that out, I'll put Moss's 6510 YouTube channel in the video description as well. Head on over there, subscribe, and you will get a notification when we go live at 8 o'clock tonight. But I really hope you liked that video. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Other than that, take care.